Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ehlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Welcome back to the Beyond the Vines podcast, and thank you for listening. I have a really exciting episode today with Katie May. She is a Sonoma County local and a small business owner of SoCo Candle Co. She brought me a candle today, and it smells amazing. It's one of my favorite flowers also. So I cannot wait for you to learn more about her and to hear more about her business here in Sonoma County. So with that, welcome, Katie.
Thanks, Amy. Nice to be here.
So nice. We had a good time chatting and getting to know each other better before the podcast. So I'm excited to kind of dive more into the candle side of things now. So what inspired you to start SoCo Candle Co?
So I started SoCo Candle Co. I actually worked at a winery in Sonoma County, and that was my first real job, we could say. And I had someone come in to offer wine candles and pitched their business. Yeah. And I'm a huge DIYer. So I looked at it and I immediately the number of times that I'll say I can make that or I could do that is honestly obnoxious, I'm sure, to my friends. But I looked at it and I was like, well, I could do that. And I talked to my manager at the time and he was like, yeah, if you can do it, let's use you. I'd rather pay you, which really in hindsight, sorry to that small business, but I'm just big on doing things myself. And so I literally went home that day and I YouTubed how to cut wine bottles and wine glasses. And I have somewhere deep in the archives a Snapchat video of me with sunglasses on.
Whoa.
And a string on fire.
That's how you do it?
On a wine bottle in my kitchen because I was just I'm going to do it. And that was the first YouTube video that I saw. That's not my practice today.
Okay.
But that was
something less likely to catch your kitchen on fire?
1,000%.
Okay, good.
And that also wasn't a useful tactic. Okay. It didn't work very well.
It actually...
Not really.
Okay.
It definitely was.
That was not how I imagined you did it.
Yeah, no, it was a little aggressive. And yes, that was my very first experience of trying to cut a wine bottle. And I'm much better at it now. I have proper tools now.
Okay. So it's an actual tool that you're cutting off.
Yes.
What do you do at the top of the wine bottle?
Most of the time I recycle it. I've also had some friends use it to water plants. So
that's
you
cool.
can stick the neck of the bottle in the pot.
And then just pour
water in that way. It's kind of a slower thing or helps get into the roots. So there's different recycling. I mean, I try to be as sustainable as possible. So different recycling ways that I can use them. I've had people use them as vases, put the cork in the bottom of it and use it as a vase or something like that.
Wow.
So
do people give you wine bottles to cut for your candles? What about for a special event even, their wedding wine or something like that?
All the time. So
fun.
Back long ago, so my actual original business name was Katie's Crafted Corner. Oh. And that was just I wanted to do this as fun. I was just doing wine bottles and I had a little Etsy page. And I had someone reach out and I think I did 4 dozen different wine bottles as their wedding gifts.
Wow.
Of just
cool.
Random wine bottles.
Yeah.
My friends give me bottles all the time that they want special gifts made for. And so I'm always happy to do custom orders. I actually have one in my shop right now that I need to do for one of my friends because I'll have people ask all the time to do custom bottles. And
that's amazing.
It's really fun and it's really special to me that you're bringing me this bottle that has some sentimental memory for you or for this person that you're giving it to. And so I really like to be a part of that journey. It's pretty cool.
That's so cool. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. And then if people want to buy candles without bringing you wine bottles, you have that as well.
Yeah. So I have on my Instagram page, I have a highlight of bottles that I have and either cut or not cut. Most of the time I'll offer them up once they're cut already. And then I'll also get specific requests. So typically I charge a $5 fee if they want a bottle that I don't have. Cause I'll go buy, as long as I can access it, I'll go buy it at the store, drink the wine. Not a problem in my house. And then use the bottle.
This is a horrible job.
Right? So, I'll do, different things. I like to just be creative with it. That's my biggest thing. So I like working with different labels. I like doing different scents. If people have custom requests, always happy to do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
So to answer your question, I started at the winery because someone brought one in and I just decided that I wanted to do that.
Wow. That's an amazing inspiration. Did you end up selling some at the winery as well?
I did. Yeah, I had, which was back in so the first process that I really understood how to do was to cut the glass. But I really didn't understand the actual science behind candle making.
No, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I had no idea. And
I just had someone in the office explaining to me how to do it. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, there's so much science behind it that I had no idea. And I'm not science oriented. I'm the crafter,
Got
right?
it.
So that's where I was like, oh, as long as I can figure out how to cut the glass, I'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I was so wrong.
Yeah.
I sold a lot. I had some really amazing wine club members that were really close to me that bought like everything that I had. And still to this day, I'm like, can I send you an actual candle? Because I know what I gave you at the time was not like I gave you wax in a jar, basically.
Totally.
But,
how funny. Oh gosh, that's amazing. So how do you do that process of like, where do you get the wax? How do you melt it down? All of that.
I have a couple wholesalers. I've got a whole like setup in my garage, a big like vat basically to melt wax in so I can do large orders at a time. It's really evolved. I used to make them solely in my kitchen.
Got it.
And then my husband was like, I can't. I need to also cook dinner.
We do,
right? Like
we do live here.
Yeah. Like I need to eat. I don't want to be with wax all the time on our stove. So I've moved my progress into a different area of our house.
Cool.
So
very cool. That's amazing. Also, you do beer bottles as well?
Yes, I do beer bottles, beer cans too.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
Yeah, beer cans, hard seltzers. Like cans are really easy and quick.
Yeah.
And I really like doing those. Those sell really well. Coors, Bud Light always sell really quickly.
Yeah, that's so fun. So you kind of mentioned your approach to sustainability. How has that kind of evolved as your business has grown?
At this point, I try really hard to buy as little as possible. So I've got some wholesalers that I get, like you asked, like my wax and things like that from. But as far as like packaging materials, I reuse everything. I mean, we're saving all of our like Amazon boxes, Sephora boxes, right? Like anything that is of that size, packing materials. So when packing peanuts come in one of our packages, I save them. Really just trying to use as little as possible and reuse as much as we can.
That's amazing. I love that. It's a great idea. The spring collection includes scents like Sunkissed and Honeysuckle Jasmine. I'm a sucker for jasmine. How do you develop your seasonal collections?
My seasonals are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I love doing fall and holiday collections. Those are always the most popular. That's also the time when people are buying candles the most. And when it's hot out in summer, you don't always want to have a candle lit because it's already hot. But
it's true. I usually do though, but yes.
yeah, same. I just have seen, the trend that over time people are burning
you're not
candles.
in that cozy vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So I put a lot of time and energy into my seasonal collections just because I want it to be something that is transitional. So like my spring collection is much more like coming out of that cozy vibe and into more of like the clean floral scents that you would smell during that time of year. Where, my fall collection is a little bit more of what would be around at that time. So cozier scents, baking scents, some outdoorsy scents as well. But just like thinking of what you would, if you went outside at that time, what would you be smelling, right?
How do you
scents are
test
in
all
the
those
air?
fragrances out?
My friends get a lot of testers of me being like, okay, go burn this and tell me what you think of it. How do you like it? So very thankful for them. And it's also a lot of me going up to my husband like, okay, what do you think about this? Like, how does this smell? Or anybody that comes over to our house, I'm like, hey, while you're here, I do a lot of polls on my friends.
How cool. Do you ever go nose blind while you're...
I do. Yeah. And I also know I lean a lot heavier on like fruitier scents or floral scents, which is funny because what I'm burning in my house most of the time is more of a baking scent.
How funny.
But what I
That's your homey vibe, probably. Yeah.
But when I'm like smelling them or testing them, I go much more fruity and floral.
How funny.
So I've had feedback from a lot of my friends of like, we need a little more earthy vibe, a little earthier tone in here because I do go really,
cozy.
A lot of fruit, a lot of floral, and then baking in my house. So
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What's your most popular holiday fragrance?
Christmas trees always sells out every year. And then I've had caramelized pralines sell out the last 2 years. Those are really popular ones. The strudel and spice that I do in the holiday is my favorite. That's a classic baking one. So that one's always
I love your
big.
names for these.
Thanks.
Cute strudel and spice. Also makes me really hungry.
Yes. No, I have that problem, especially when I'm having the baking scents because I have almond macaron is one of my favorite just all time. So that's what's in our bedroom, our living room. That's what's burning a lot of it. It makes me hungry a lot.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do I need to bake cookies? My husband's like, no.
It's just the candle. Huh?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow. That all sounds amazing. What other So your personal favorite would be the almond macaron, it sounds like.
Yeah.
What's your favorite that you sell that's more on the floral side?
Gardenia is actually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So gardenia was my grandma's favorite flower. And we had a gardenia bush out in front of our house when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so that one holds like really special memories to me as well. So that's my go-to floral for sure.
Oh, I love that.
But like some of my best sellers are more of the like cleaner scents. So like lemon verbena, cactus flower and jade is a really big one that sells. So like some of the cleaner scents sell really quick as well. And lemon verbena is one of my earliest scents that I did.
Wow.
That consistently is always a fan favorite.
How funny. It must be fun to watch people's reactions when they're like smelling the different scents.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
And I do, when I do markets, I haven't done them for quite a while, but for a period of time, I was doing them really regularly. And when I would do them, I have like a stand that has all the cans on it more so. So they're kind of in their own little section. And I would do hard seltzer cans and I would sent them to their flavors.
Oh, that's cool. It's like blood orange or something like that. Yeah.
And watching people's reactions every time to like, oh my gosh, they smell like their flavor.
How funny.
Is just the funniest thing to me. That's always a fun time.
That would be really fun. Just seeing people's reactions to your work must be so cool.
It is. It's fun.
Amazing. So you'd mentioned that gardenia carries a lot of memories for you. Is there any other scents that really kind of hold a special place?
Gardenia definitely, like I said, lemon verbena being one of my top sellers from early on has really special memories in my heart. And then, strudel and spice is one of the first ones that I did for a holiday collection that I think I absolutely fell in love with, and that a lot of my friends were like, yeah, that's a great one.
I love that. I love the name of that. What's your creative process like when you're trying out new scents? So you mentioned asking friends to smell them. Like, does your husband ever give input on what he would like more of, or anyone else?
Yeah, my husband does every once in a while. Sometimes he'll have feedback. But yeah, like I said, I just take polls a lot of the time of what people are thinking. And like I said, I lean really heavy on the fruitier ones. So I have to think really hard of like what other people would like, what other people would want to have out there. Like I can't just be what I like, right? That's kind of where I started, but I do try to give some diversity there. So
that is so cool. How important have the local markets and events been in building your brand? It sounds like you're not doing as many anymore. Yeah. But that's how you started.
Yes, that's definitely how I started. My very first market that I did was absolutely phenomenal. I completely sold out. And that really launched like I guess like the difference for my imposter syndrome, because I think I was there and it's like you have that imposter syndrome of, am I a small business? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I just do this for fun and I'm creative. And I didn't really have a business model at the time. I certainly wasn't like checking my costs of goods or anything like that. I'm more of the creative. And so I had a great first market. And from there, I really started to just do any market that I saw available. And I burnt out really quick. Yeah. And I realized how little I actually was profiting, if at all. And on top of that, when I started doing markets was right around the time of the pandemic when things were opening back up and you could be outside in large groups. People were getting stimulus checks more frequently. So they had a lot more fluidity in their cash. And that momentum didn't stay for very long. So then I was doing a lot of markets, really burning out, and then the vendor fees started going up for markets, which was a really big bummer. Because then you're, trying to make sure that you're profiting, but you also, I think the idea of markets is amazing because you're bringing together all of these small businesses and building community. I've met some of the most amazing small business owners that I've really connected with. And I think it is really important for like your local economy to be sustainable in that way. Because now I have friends in small businesses that I'm going to go shop from them. They're going to shop from me. And it kind of leads to this cycle. But to a certain extent, we want to make sure that the vendors aren't being taken advantage of with how much the cost of the markets can be, what the, the marketing looks like for all of them. There's a couple there's a couple that I used to do that aren't around anymore. One of which I loved, another one I did not have a great experience at. So kind of like learning that on the fly isn't always ideal. but it definitely launched me into just getting to know the community more and getting to know more people, which has been really helpful for my growth, for sure.
That's a great point. Yeah, the connections. Do you have any customers that you met at those markets that still purchase from you now?
Yes.
Oh, see, that's great. So like long term.
Absolutely. Yeah, my website has become kind of my main sales channel at this point. And so I've got a lot of repeat customers on there, which I really appreciate them sticking with me. And I had a lot of people reaching out for a while because, like I said, I was doing every market that I saw. And then I quickly reeled that back of like, I need to only do markets that make sense to me or do pop-ups that make sense for me. So kind of sharing that of, you know, I'm not going to be at every market that you would typically see me at. And here's how to still be in contact with me. And like I said, I'm happy to do custom orders and chat with anybody in my DMs about it. But yeah, I've had some people really stick with me, which has been really cool.
That is so cool. So it sounds like most of your orders probably come online then. Yeah. And so repeat customers, social media, does that help as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Social media is huge. People sharing things is really awesome. And yeah, just kind of like getting the word out.
I imagine too, like if you receive it as a gift, you're going to then look you up and look up the company.
Yeah.
Because it is so fun and your designs are beautiful, your scents are beautiful.
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
The aesthetics of it all are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like people, you know, and that's something to consider too, to give it as gifts to spread the word.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah. No, they make great gifts. Everybody always loves them.
Everybody loves a candle.
Yeah.
I love a candle. So do you have any upcoming like collaborations or any kind of pop-ups that you are doing?
Yeah, so I will be in Healdsburg on May 4th for a pop-up there. Really looking forward to that. That's actually going to be my first one of the year.
Cool.
And then I sell wholesale through a couple different places.
Oh, great.
And I also sell at a store called Bow and Arrow here in Petaluma.
Oh, okay,
so at the Petaluma outlets.
Yeah, great.
Bow and Arrow is really cool because there's, I think, over 30 local vendors that sell out of there.
That's amazing.
All small businesses, like that is the easiest way I would say to support your local community. Is finding stores like that where they are just like these, you know, shops that have various vendors in them.
Great.
So I'm one of the ones in there. A couple of my friends are in there as well.
Great.
And then, yeah, I really like doing wholesale orders. I do them for a couple different salons. So,
oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do like their labels. And they can come up with the names, they can come up with the scents, they get to pick the scents. So I kind of hand the creative process over to them a little bit, and then I go back and do the work for it. But
that is so cool.
They come out really cool. That has been really fun for me just in having more of a creative process because it's similar to when I was doing the wine bottles. Like I was doing a lot of the same labels all the time, and I like variety.
Yeah.
So to be able to make different labels, call them different things, pick different scents, keeps the creative juices flowing.
Oh, I love that. And that is a really good point because I would imagine at some point it gets monotonous to be doing same scents, same style bottles.
Right.
Yeah, all of that. So, oh, that's great. That's amazing. What a cool idea.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a business owner? It sounds like obviously the market fees have been like a huge challenge.
Yeah, market fees have been huge. And then what I was naming earlier of like not really having a business model when I started. Like like I said, I'm a huge creator and I wanted to do this because I wanted to do this, but I didn't have a business model. I wasn't taking into consideration the cost of goods. I wasn't even calculating my cost of goods for a very long time. So I know I lost money for arguably the first 2 years probably because I really just wanted to do it to do it. And so figuring out my numbers and actually creating a business model was probably one of my bigger challenges, but also totally doable. So for anyone who's like wanting to start a small business, it's not too big of a hurdle by any means.
I mean, I think, obviously like, do you use like QuickBooks or anything to keep track of anything like that or just your own spreadsheets?
I have a CPA that I've worked with and he kind of gave me a spreadsheet to use.
Great.
So I just use that. That's been really easy, but I know a ton of small businesses that use QuickBooks and apparently that's a really helpful resource.
That's so great. I love that. Yeah, figuring out those numbers. But, you know, even if you like probably were at a loss like those first couple of years, like you mentioned, I think that's normal, right? And you probably had to understand the process more to even be able to figure out those numbers anyways.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. So, a lot of growth, a lot of learning, and it's just a part of the process.
It's just part of the process. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I'm glad you've like dialed it in too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm sure my accountant is as well.
I'm sure your accountant's very proud of you too.
That took me a minute.
So what does your home smell like right now in this moment?
So like I said, I've got the almond macaron in my bedroom and our living room. I usually have cactus flower and jade in our guest bathroom. I really love that one.
For a guest bathroom, it's a good idea.
Yeah, nice light and clean one. And then Coffee House is another bestseller that I didn't name earlier, but that one I've got in the kitchen pretty much all the time.
I love that. That's amazing.
That's a big popular one.
That's really cool. So do you mind sharing your website or your social media right now, just so for anybody that wants to shop online?
Absolutely. SoCoCandleCo.com. And my Instagram is at SoCo Candle Co.
Perfect. And you have a link on your Instagram too.
I sure do.
Oh, I love it.
Easy peasy to find me.
Good. Coming off a buss, what are 3 fun facts about you?
Ooh, I always feel like I'm a pretty boring person.
I don't feel like you probably are.
I mean, I've already shared.
Not my impression.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I already shared I'm a huge DIYer. I always have a house project going for the most part. I would really love to build a coffee table this weekend. We'll see.
So do you think maybe that'll be your weekend project?
That might be.
Will you send me pictures if you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you're so good.
I'm doing the Pottery Barn inspired one that I don't want to pay $2,000 for.
Yeah, no.
So we'll see if I can get that done.
That's amazing.
So always have a house project going. In my daily life, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work for a local nonprofit here in the community, and I really love working with my kiddos. And then I also am a chapter advisor for my sorority.
Wow.
I'm an alum now. I don't even know how to say that, but I'm the chapter advisor for Gamma Phi Beta at Sonoma State. So.
I'm a Sonoma State alum too, so
yeah.
I love it. That's
I feel like a lot of us are. Like, you came to Sonoma State and you realized how beautiful Sonoma County is, so
People
you just
don't leave. Yeah.
Why would you?
Why would you go?
Truly.
That's why I sell real estate here.
Totally.
Can't imagine living anywhere else.
Keep you here.
For sure. So anywhere else where my listeners can find you? It sounds like Healdsburg, the beginning of May.
Yeah.
And then your website and your social.
Yep. And then you can shop me at Bow and Arrow here in Petaluma.
Which I need to go to, by the way.
Oh, it's so cute.
That sounds amazing.
We'll have to go.
Yes.
Bow and Arrow and the Petaluma outlets. I also sell out of the Collab Salon in Roanoke Park. I do their wholesale. I do Alchemy by Kayla wholesale, and I'm opening up a couple more wholesale spots here soon.
Amazing.
So lots of places.
I'm so happy for you. What an amazing company. So
thank you so much. Happy to be here and excited to see what the next year brings. I'll probably do a few more markets. I typically do more markets in the winter. Fall and winter.
For more holiday shopping. That makes sense. I was thinking, and I also trying to look at it logistically. I was thinking more summer, but then I almost wonder how do your candles hold up outside in a market if it's an outside one?
Yes. So that actually, my very first market, I learned that the hard way. I didn't bring a tent, and all of my candles are 100% soy wax,
which is amazing.
Which is really sensitive.
Oh no.
So very sensitive wax, does not hold up well in the heat, and I use fragrances infused with essential oils or essential oils entirely, so they are also very sensitive. So learned the hard way that they don't withstand the heat very well. So have to have a tent. But for the most part, if it gets to a certain degree, I won't ship. I won't do markets. Makes sense. They're just too sensitive.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again for coming in today.
Of course. Thanks for having me. This is great.
So fun. And thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe. Learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.